What's going on, guys, and welcome to the video. Today we are going to be doing a ranking video. I'm going to rank every single hero in the game at the moment. This is the final amount of heroes there is in the game. There's 5 blaster heroes and 5 lightsaber heroes. If you include them about Palpatine as a lightsaber, that sort of equals it out. So for each side, that is. So I think that's how they're gonna finish. 10 on each side, half and half. So I'm going to start with who I believe is the worst hero in the game, and I've got to go to BB9E. Now I know my level is very low on this, and I have only I have been playing a lot of this game, but this is just one where I've watched a lot of stuff on him, more than I've played, and obviously, yeah, I think it's quite obvious he comes bottom. His star cards aren't the best. Just, yeah, they all just seem to improve him a bit, obviously, and then he's got one good ability, as in the middle one, the shock spin. But the smoke screen just seems pretty useless, really. And charge up obviously gives him a bit of extra health, but it's just, I mean, he's just a support. I personally believe he should have been a reinforcement as well as BB-8, who is obviously, I believe, is better than the BB-9E because of a certain reason, which is to do with his middle ability. But next, now I haven't actually planned this out. I wanted to sort of just do this as it goes. Now, if I was to be honest, at the moment, in the way the game is right now, I believe it is probably gonna be, I'm gonna go with Boba Fett. Simply because he's got a gun where, well, his blaster is, it needs to be accurate and you can't zoom in. So that automatically really just, it doesn't help, basically. But his rocket barrage, it needs to be more powerful. I feel like it is just not powerful enough, and if it was more powerful, then it would probably make him go up quite a few ranks just because of how good it could be. For the hunt, I mean, it does help a little bit to know where people are, and obviously the unlimited jetpack fuel does help. But it's not gonna get him up, and the concussion just seems a bit weak. It doesn't, I mean, it's 1 or 2 seconds, and overall he's got a lot worse, and he does, I think it's down to the rocket barrage personally. I feel like that needs to be like, it needs to be like killing and damaging a lot more than it should. It's just too weak. And for the next one, now if I was to be honest, I think I'm gonna have to go with Finn, just because of his 2 of his abilities are pretty much just not that good, unless he's with a lot of like other soldiers with him, you know. But Deadeye obviously is the best. This is where I mean, it's such a good ability. It is really good. It is where he actually shines. But the problem is, that's his only good thing. Like, he's got a decent blaster. He's a decent person, but again, I just struggle to even want to play with him. But if you were to sort his cards out, I would just basically upgrade Deadeye. So, you know, race to do one thing, come get it, you know. Well, not come get it. Yeah, here we are. No more running. And stay calm. I'd literally just go full on, make Deadeye really good, and then he becomes as best as possible, really. The others are just undercover team, if you want to look. Yeah, it's not the best. Big deal. Doesn't really, I mean, gets a few extra health for the people around him. He does help people around him. He's a good little extra, but he just feels like just a bit better than a reinforcement, to be honest. Apart from the fact that Deadeye is what sets him apart. But next, I'm going to go with and this might surprise quite a lot, but I'm gonna go with General Grievous. Now this is very just another my opinion, like he is very low level, I know, but the rest of the people who I actually play with are actually a decent level. Yeah, his stamina is nowhere near good enough, and he needs to be fully leveled up just to even like be decent in my opinion. Like the Claw Rush can be good, but it's very like you've got to spin around in a 360 just for it to work, but that's not how it's meant to be intended. I mean, but yeah, it just seems to be. Hi Max. Yeah, just thought I'd start a little broadcast, just ranking a few Star Wars characters. Thought it'd be good. But yeah, nice to see you. Back with my old viewers. I mean, I thought I'd just start again. I wish I never deleted my old videos, but anyway. Yeah, General Grievous, just not what you want really. He's just not up to par. Unrelenting Advance, it's good, but it's just once, as soon as it's over, it's pretty much done. Thrust Surge, again, they're just not like the decent abilities, but his stamina is where it's just like you can literally run out of stamina so quickly, and that means he's only really good for heroes versus villains, and even then, like he needs to have people with him, or he's gonna be like, if he doesn't have one person with him, he's just not good enough. It's his stamina mainly. You make his stamina worse as well with where is it? Yeah, Sith Trained. Increases damage, makes his stamina even worse by way too much. Just do not use that card, or he'll do 2 hits and probably be out of stamina. How am I doing? I am doing fine, thank you. Yeah, just thought I'd stream, you know, we're getting a bit bored on lockdown, and thought I'd bring something back that I've not done for a while, you know. So there we go. General Grievous is next. Right, so for the next one, I think this is when we'll go on to BB-8. Again, one of my lower level ones. His middle ability, unbelievably good. Cable Spin. And by the way, none of these are really bad. Like, even BB-9E is good in certain situations. I think these are just a bit too situational. And Boba, yeah, they're just not as good as the rest, basically. But yeah, BB-8, Cable Spin, great ability. Roll and Charge is decent, but I mean, it only really gets 1 kill, and that's on a soldier. On heroes, it's not very effective. He's not very good against any heroes, but against troopers, he is pretty decent. He's a good little support, a lot better than BB-9E in my personal opinion. Resistance backing, that also helps him, helps around a little bit. A lot of passive abilities with these support characters, but again, I feel like he should have been a reinforcement. Right, so next I will go with, I'm trying between a few now. So from now, I'd say they're all decent, because these are all the ones I've been leveling up and generally do enjoy playing with, but I think I've got to go with Iden next. She's decent, she's not the best. You could argue BB-8 could even be better. It's sort of pretty tight between them for me. I think BB-8's got the best ability, but Iden's a bit more well-rounded, as in she's got the droid shield. How she can't shoot with it is poor, but it does get her out of some sticky situations, especially if you put the card on for it, which I believe is it this? Yeah, this one here, Steel Shield Sustain. So it starts. And I in a PlayStation party. I'm not in a party right now, just because didn't want anybody to like, you know, like join the party while I'm doing this. But yeah, yeah. So Iden is just, yeah, she's well-rounded. She's also just a better than a trooper. You could say the best reinforcements are like on par with her, really. Like, if I was to pick between an Overseeing Gunner and an Iden Versio, I would struggle to choose Iden, especially with the points difference. But yeah, that's the same with all the ones below as well. Overseeing Gunners, Sith Troopers, yeah, they all just seem to be a bit better than what you'd think. But right, so next I think I want to go with. Now this is hard, because now like from Iden. Do I want to go on a party with me? I can straight after this video if you want. It shouldn't be too long. I mean, we're 10 minutes in, but like I'm only ranking them, so shouldn't take too long. But yeah, I can after if you want. Thanks for the view. It's nice to actually have someone viewing. A lot of people sort of do these things without any viewers, but you know, it's only one, but it means something, in my opinion. But anyway, that's just my personal little view on YouTube. I think next though, it's hard for me because I generally do like the rest. All apart from Iden, I think they are all good. But I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm gonna go with Captain Phasma. Yeah, it's between Phasma and Bosk, but I think I might just. I think I'll go with Bosk. Just because his middle ability really good. Predator Instincts really good ability. Proximity Mine's decent, and the Dioxis Grenade is like, it's okay. I like the card where you can heal, the first one, Name Your Poison. I like how you can heal when you're in it, and it also hurts people if they come in it. I made it wider and thicker as well because I haven't got him fully leveled up. I'm sort of getting him now. It's one of the. You'll see as we go up the list, I've got a lot better ratings for them. But yeah, yeah, Bosk is that sort of person where it's like, he's decent. He's got one good ability, one decent, one just meh, I'd say. But he is good. But he's quite weak. He can die quite easy if you don't utilize the healing. Like without this, I think I'd struggle, to be honest, to try and stay alive and actually get good kill streak. But yeah, he is decent, and yeah, that's Bosk done. Next, obviously, we've got to give it to Captain Phasma now. Now, I like Captain Phasma, and I think she's got a lot better since she first started. I'm still trying to level up the cards and stuff, you know, like she's not fully done, but I like her, especially when she has these cards here. This one, obviously, a lot of heat reduction, not hard enough. It's also very good, a lot of damage reduction. This one is good for the droid. It helps get a lot more kills and stuns and stuff like that. And then this one is also good. I sort of switch between these two for different sort of things, like either Galactic Assault or Heroes vs Villains. But yeah, Captain Phasma is very good in my opinion. Survivor is a great ability. You cannot go wrong with having a bit of extra health, even if it's just temporarily. It is really, you can really make it a lot of health, and you can make it really useful. The First Order Sentry Droid. Now this can be useful. You sort of need a few cards, maybe at least one card for it to be pretty good. But it is what makes Phasma unique, is that she stays in a little droid area, and it makes her a lot better. If anybody comes in, you've got staff strikes. So this is the first sign of a bit of like actual synergy within the characters. I feel like she does work well. She can upgrade herself, which is just a good ability on its own. Like, you don't really have to synergize that with anything. But staff strikes and the droid sort of work well. Like, anyone in their area is good. Staff strikes won't beat a lightsaber hero, but it can if you've already weakened them enough, which you can do. But yeah, Phasma, Heroes vs Villains, she'll struggle a bit more. But if you've got a good team with you, she can be one of the best blaster heroes. See, a lot of blaster heroes are coming before, apart from General Grievous, who I generally do believe is that low and deserves to be that low, purely because of the stamina. His abilities are decent, as we've gone. And next, right, so now it gets quite tough because I know Lando and Leia are here, and these two, I feel like, and Han Solo actually. These three, I believe, are all the best blaster heroes. I know there's no villain ones left. There's also Chewbacca, who I generally have been enjoying quite a lot recently. But I think I might have to go with let's try and think, because obviously I know what's good and bad about them all, but I need to sort of, like, it's quite hard, these top ones, because I haven't really thought about it that much, and that's why I didn't want to prepare, because I wanted to show my on the spot in this video. I know it will be a bit longer, but it's sort of a bit more raw and honest, so I think could be Darth Maul. I do like Yoda. I think he works well. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Dooku, Maul, Luke, Palpatine, Vader. Right, I think next I'm gonna go with Lando. Now he's probably, I think we're going into the good characters now. These are like better than, you know, like Phasma, Bosk and Iden, who are decent. They're not bad. But Lando, I think he is actually good. Like, obviously you need more max health. I like quick shock as well, because most of the time you're gonna detonate the shock below 5 seconds anyway, so no point in this card really, unless you just, I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're doing if you leave it for that long, but smoke grenade lingers for longer. I do like this just because it makes the smoke actually useful, but you don't have to run it. You could run wide-eyed, which I also like, and I also like Welcome to Cloud City. Like, between these it's a bit different, but yeah, that's what I run. This one as well, not really useful. I'm not sure why I actually leveled it up to green. That was quite a while ago when I did that. But yeah, I got him up to level 20 for the star card reasons. I wanted quick shot, done that. He's very good. His ability is sharp shot, very, very decent. It can be a bit buggy sometimes, but if you do it right and if you play with him for a while and get used to him, you sort of learn how to use it a lot better. You have to wait a bit and then just wait for the right amount of targets, but it's maybe sometimes a bit situational if it's meant to be like actually really good, but it can be really, really good. You can get up to 4 kills, I'm pretty sure. The Disabler I really like. It's a bit like Chewbacca's stun. I believe Lando, I believe it's really good just because of the stun. It helps him in Heroes vs Villains quite a lot. And then the smoke grenade sort of helps him just have that little edge over other troopers. But yeah, overall he's good. He is a good hero. I do like using him, as he is joint highest level at the moment, just because I got a few to 20 recently. Right, so next I think I'm going to have to go with I think I'm going to go with Chewbacca. Now, this isn't anything against Chewbacca. Like, I generally do really, really like him. I've been using him a lot recently. I am currently trying to get him to 20, just for the slammed card. But yeah, I use these three. Make the shock longer. I make Furious Bowcaster last longer if I get a kill, and I increase his maximum health. So obviously slammed will go out for this one once I can, if it was in Heroes vs Villains or something like that. But also, I'm not quite sure which one I'll go. I'll probably get rid of the shock one for Heroes vs Villains actually. Yeah, these two is what swaps between Heroes and Galactic Assault or Supremacy. Yeah, so Chewbacca's good. His Furious Bowcaster makes his Bowcaster a lot better. And the reason I did forget to say, Lando's Natural Blaster is very good. like very, very good. Probably one of the best, which is what makes him so high, in my opinion. Because his abilities aren't the best. If we go back, his abilities, they're not the best. You know, they're not like top ones. They're all decent to good, which is why he's literally at the rating he is. As good his blaster, I'd say, is one of the best in the game. Maybe even the best. I'm not quite sure, but it could be. It does really rinse troopers, but Chewbacca's normal blaster is what lets him down, I think. But his abilities is what makes him so good. Furious Bowcaster makes his Bowcaster actually really, really good. Charge Slam is such a good ability. It's so fun to use. Slamming people off the map, or just simply using the slammed card to make it a lot more powerful when you get close. It's good for heroes versus villains and Galactic Assault, same with Furious Bowcaster. And Shock Grenade is more better for... It's more better when it's got extended shock for heroes versus villains. And if you're in Galactic Assault or Supremacy, I wouldn't really use it. I wouldn't use a card on it. I would just use it as like, if there's a reinforcement or hero and you need a stun and sort of back up a little bit away, because Chewbacca's not the best in a 1v1 combat, and that is simply why all the blaster heroes come before lightsaber heroes, because they would lose to the other heroes. I know Grievous is low, but because of how low stamina is, I would beat Grievous with Chewbacca, I would beat him with Lando, I'd beat him with Phasma, just because of how low his stamina is. Now, it could be very situational. If you're in a very small room, I'm sure Grievous might actually win if he knocks you over and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the point. Grievous is just too situational. He has to be in tiny, tiny spaces, and that's the only problem I have with him, really. He is not very good in Galactic Assault or Supremacy. Unless the maps are very tiny and people are just separated, but in the small places, it's just too situational for Grievous. But there we go, here is Chewbacca is spot, and now I think we are coming up to the top 10. If we think about Vader, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, we've got 11 left. So who is in the 11 spot? Who's missing out on the top 10? After Chewbacca, I mean, there's only Han Solo left for the Blaster Heroes. I've got to go with Han Solo. I believe he's the best Blaster Hero just because of his synergy. The Detonate Charge, unbelievably good. Sharpshooter, really good, but his normal blaster's also really good. Not as good as Lando's, but it's good. It's better than Chewbacca's. Yeah. I feel like I have missed out Leia though. I think, would I put Leia above Han Solo? I think, well, what I want to say is, we'll explain it after. These two could be 11 or 10, to be honest. I think I'd say Han Solo is 10. So we'll continue to explain Han Solo. Right, so a shoulder charge, also really good. It's not the best because it normally only stops after one. It apparently can go through a few, but it doesn't really do that. It tends to just go to one and knock them over. But yeah, it can. I'm pretty sure it can. Yeah, it can stagger when blocking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can block. If a lightsaber hero's blocking, he can actually get them out of that. Sharpshooter is good for anyone who's just not blocking, like lightsaber heroes, which again splits the lightsaber heroes from the blaster heroes, but which is fair enough, it makes sense. I mean, they've got a lightsaber, they shouldn't really be able to die if they've got enough stamina. Detonate Charge also helps against heroes versus villains, where, well, you know, they can actually do decent and not just simply just die, because Han Solo can actually hold his own and do really well against blaster heroes. But I would put him in the number 10 spot, and I did accidentally leave Leia out, but she's in the number 11 spot. We'll swap them around. This is by far the biggest change since when I would have rated it at the start of the game, because I mean, Leia, she was so bad at the start of the game. I've got to say she's probably one of the top three, bottom three, maybe even the worst, maybe. It wasn't very good, but now she's got 3 thermal detonators, and who doesn't love thermal detonators? Rapid fire is very, very, very good for again, anybody who can't block is gonna get pretty much ripped off this rapid fire if you're accurate enough, which isn't too hard. It can rip Palpatine, especially, is a big one, because Palpatine used to be able to kill people like Leia all the time. But that rapid fire, if you have that against Palpatine, you will pretty much win the battle. Squad shield, obviously, still got to have a squad shield with Leia. It's very useful in large game modes, but I'd say Heroes vs Villains, she might not be as good, to be honest. Again, that's where she separates from Han Solo, and I feel like I should actually put a one below Chewbacca, just because Chewbacca can actually hold his own in Heroes vs Villains as well. But then again, he's not as good in the larger game modes. But I'd say he's better in the larger game modes than Leia is in Heroes vs Villains. So I think I'd put Chewbacca 11, Leia in maybe 14 now, actually, because I feel like Lando should be above her. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so 10 is Han Solo, 11 Chewbacca, Lando's 12, and Leia's in 13th, and then it went 14, 15, and so on, like in the backwards order. Right, so from now, they are all lightsaber heroes apart from Palpatine, but you know, he counts basically. It's the same sort of thing. He is obviously, you can't have movies, but you know, he doesn't have one on this. It makes him unique, it makes him different. Doesn't mean I'm putting him in number 9 though. Han Solo number 10, and we move on from Leia, who is by far the most improved, but I've had to lower her down now that I think about her. She's really, really good in the high game modes, high amount, like large game modes, but yeah, Heroes vs Villains, Hero Showdown, you're never really gonna choose her, to be honest. She can get ripped off any of these lightsabers heroes, just anybody. Han Solo is the one hero that can fend himself off these heroes, which is what makes him the best blaster hero, as he is also good in normal. Right, on to the top 9 now, which has all lightsaber heroes. Obviously Grievous is gone, which is what makes it number 9. If Grievous was in it, he'd be probably, I'd put him 10 if we were just doing lightsaber heroes, but yeah. Anyway, worst lightsaber hero after Grievous. I feel like, with how I've been playing recently, this is personal opinion, it could be Anakin, but I feel like I'm starting to... He's starting to grow again a bit on me, which is... it's surprising, but yeah. I think I'm gonna go with it. I think I'm just gonna switch them. I think I might... this is very difficult. Now, they are top tier. He's top. He's a bit better. I think... now it's gonna be controversial, whoever I pick, to be honest. I think I'm gonna go with Rey. Now, with Rey, I just feel like it's her abilities that let her down. Insight is good, Mind Trick is good for heroes versus villains. Insight is good for large scale game modes. Dash Strike is good for both, really, more towards large scale. And she's good. She is really well rounded, but for heroes versus villains, I feel like she's just not as good as the others. But I could swap her around with Anakin, who is gonna come in next in my list, just because of how recently it's just been a lot worse. It's worse recently. Next, I think I'll go with Obi-Wan. He's a very defensive hero. His cards aren't the best. Well, his abilities, I mean, and his cards sort of improve them. Again, I use these cards, the first three, which is why I've left it at 12 for a while. Yeah, I think I put Obi-Wan below Anakin, actually. Anakin's one up on Obi-Wan. Next is Dooku. Actually, no. Darth Maul. No, I feel like Darth Maul is better than I think I'm going to go with Dooku next, just because in the large scale game modes he was not as good. He's actually worse than Anakin and Obi-Wan, so I'm going to probably put him below them. Yeah, I'm going to go, now that I've explained it a bit on what I'm thinking between these four, and then it'll be Darth Maul, because I know my top few. Right. I'm gonna re-go. I think I'm gonna go with Count Dooku as the number 9, even though I do really enjoy him, and he isn't coming in at number 9. He is just not good in the large scale game modes. Exposed weakness is very useless most of the time, unless unless you've got enough time to go through the action, and then they're not really paying attention. In the large scale game modes, it's literally useless. Lightning Stun's good, and Duelist is obviously one of the best. He's probably the best 1v1 in the game, just for how good he is. As a Duelist, that is what he's for. He's for 1v1 combat. He's probably the best in that. But after Count Dooku, I would then go with Rey, for the same reason. Obviously, I explained Rey. He's better in the large scale game modes, but she's good. She's very good. Just not as good as the rest, in my opinion. I would then go with Obi-Wan, as we've been through before. His abilities let him down a lot, but his stamina is obviously the best in the game, which is what makes him so good. Next, I would go with Anakin as him. Got worse. I feel like a few of them are just too decent. It's hard to get off. All of them sort of slow him down, and I personally prefer free-flowing movement with the abilities, which is why Darth Maul comes above him, because I want to finish this top 5. Oh, this is 6th. Darth Maul is 6th out of them all. Yeah, I feel like he's just probably edges it past all. This is all very tight. I mean, you can see how quickly these 5 can all change around. But yeah, in 5th place, I'm gonna go with Yoda. I feel like he's the second best light-sided hero. He's got so many different cards that are good. By the way, all the blue ones are the ones that are actually good. This one is decent, so I've unlocked it. These 2 are the only bad ones. Well, even agility is good. I do need to get that up. It's just a recharge rate. You need it fully leveled up to use it. So I feel like anyway, you need to at least blue or purple. But anyway, yeah, Yoda's very good. Presence is very useful. upgrading his health just temporarily is even worth it for me. Unleash is a fucking sort of combo. It's very unique actually, and obviously he's got his dash attack, which is what he's known for. He is leaping around. But Unleash, yeah, Unleash is where I'd say his block isn't the best, as it doesn't block lightsaber hits. It can block some abilities, most, but mainly he's good for large-scale game modes, as it's, you know, he's blocking with this and the unleashes, but they tend to know about it, and yeah, that's why I'd say he's 5th, and possibly even 6th. I could possibly even switch him with Darth Maul, as Darth Maul is a bit more just ruthless and doesn't have many flaws. So again, these can all be swapped in so many different ways. But yeah, on to the top 4, who I am pretty sure about. I've got to say, between these it is difficult. Vader is just a tank. He is just too much of a tank. Luke Skywalker has the best synergy in the game. His abilities just work so perfectly with each other. You can push, you can rush, you can repulse, you can just clear rooms so easily. It's perfect. He works so well. Kylo Ren, some lethal abilities. Freeze is disgustingly lethal. Pull gets them there and just drags people in, doesn't let people go. And then Frenzy, he just unleashes his power on them. And pure just strength and massive hits. It is pretty lethal. He's got some good cards as well. But out of the 4, I think I would go with Palpatine in 4th, as he can't block. So in quite a lot of situations, in the large scale game modes, you might not even be probably below all these lightsaber heroes if it was in certain situations, but it's about how good he is in shorter distance and with heroes and heroes versus villains in the shorter. He's just a good version of what Grievous needs, is what I would say. Grievous needs the short, and heroes versus villains helps. He needs to be with other heroes. Palpatine does that, but he is so good at it. He is unbelievable. His ability is Chain Lightning, is probably one of the best in the game. Dark Aura is decent. It slows down people around him and hurts them a little bit. Electrocute stuns and immobilizes people, but it is a bit of a longer animation and not the best ability from him, but the rest of it, as I've explained, is very good. Now on to the top 3. Vader, his son, and Kylo. Now, in my opinion, I've got to go with Kylo in 3rd. I just love Kylo, I can't lie. I do love Kylo Ren. He is a very, very good hero, but the only thing that holds him back is he can be killed quickly if he's caught off guard. You know, if you get the first few hits, then maybe he'd be quite struggling, but when he's the first person to, you know, like, notice the other person, which is, you know, if you're a good player, that tends to be most of the time, he can be lethal. He can be so good. His abilities have got a few of them are the best in the game. Freeze is definitely one. It can be lethal in heroes versus villains or in large scale game modes. Pull, especially in large scale game modes. Frenzy can be both. Freeze, especially in heroes versus villains. It rips. And if you've got Kylo and Palpatine together, well, Palpatine in any of his Sith, so Vader, Kylo, Maul, Dooku, even Grievous with Palpatine is probably decent, but obviously I wouldn't put Grievous in there with these. These are way better. Now for the top 2, Luke or Vader. Who do I choose? I think I'm gonna go with Vader in second. I think I'm gonna do it. I think Luke's the best in the game, but I think Vader is second. His choke is good, his lightsaber throw is good, focus rage makes him so much of a tank, his cards are unbelievably improving his tank ability. I mean, he can get up to 150 extra health just at the start, which means he has literally the highest health in the game, or the starting base health anyway. And then focus rage added on top of that, which can even have another card which improves the amount of health, reduction. Yeah, it can receive less damage when focus rage is active, so he's even more of a tank. It's just so many different things that, I mean, even this one is another good one. It's meant to be 3 deaths, might as well do it now. Another very, very good card. This is for the more larger scale game modes, which is why I've got it, as I will probably take off Punishing Grip. These two are what swap. Obviously, choking for a longer time and Heroes vs Villains is going to be pretty lethal. And that leads me on to Luke, who has perfect synergy and is great for large scale game modes. Probably one of the best, well, the best lightsaber hero, I'd say, for large scale game modes, alongside Rey. Rey is very good for it. Yoda, Obi-Wan, all very good. But yeah, I'd say Luke is the best. He's not as much of a tank as Vader, but his cards, you know, there's so many different things you can do with Luke, and his pushback in Heroes vs Villains, if you're on a map where you can fall, that is pretty lethal at 100%, I'll tell you that. I've got it to 80 so far, and I'll be trying to get it to 100% very soon. And that concludes the video. I genuinely just wanted to do a video like this, as I haven't for a while. This is very what I used to do, and yeah, it's been a long video, but that was just sort of my ideas on every hero, and hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in a bit.